Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and across the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Hadassah, how are you?
Hi, I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Real Talk Corner. I'm your host, Dr. Esther Cruickshank. How are you all today? And Real Talk Corner, where conversation sparks change and every voice matters. Oh, I have had a long day, people. What about you? How have been your weekend? I hope that you all are keeping safe and sound. Welcome to Real Talk Corner again on this beautiful Tuesday evening. You know what? Today is actually the 22nd of July. Wow, we have crossed half of the year and we are moving on. We are on for about an hour tonight again. I'm not certain if my co host is going to be here, but I'm here with you. Take this moment to share the live and to, let others know that we are on tonight. You know, there have been some interesting development over the weekend, even today. But most importantly, I was just, I'm not very often on social media, but I was just going through and I saw ISUPK and I was kind of interested in what they were saying. And that represent Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And they were on the street and, sometimes I wonder, look, I'm an African citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and sometimes I wonder what is wrong with us as a African community. They are still talking about the prime minister from India that came here, right? And they are talking about the African, when the African prime minister come and who do this and who do the other, and whose fault it is. If the prime minister from India came here and he was well received because there is an Indian based government that is in power, and Trinidad and Tobago and the Indian diaspora has been, working along the lines to establish their people and to see growth. And is that our fault, their fault, whose fault it is? Okay, if when the African king or whoever came and the PNM government did not treat them with royalty and didn't give them the highest award of the country, whose fault is that? It's because they don't acknowledge their own people. They don't lift up their own people. They don't appreciate their own people. Why are they still on the case of the Prime Minister of India coming here and being treated with royalty? And it's because the Indian people respect their elders and their patriarchs and respect those who have gone, climb the ladder and is in high position, diplomatic and so on and so on. What is wrong with our African community? It's time for you all to wake up and stop all the foolishness. It's time for you all to come together, have respect for each other, esteem one another higher than yourself. That is what you all have to do, and stop complaining about the Indian brothers and sisters and what they do and what they don't do. Stop focusing on them. It's just like the PNM government keep talking about the UNC government. Whatever Mrs. Kamala Prasad Visesa and her ministers do is a problem for them. But they have been here for almost 10 years, almost a decade. And previously, before that, they were here, they were in power for about 30 years before anything could have happened. Did they ever consider bringing an African government who was well established, who was world renowned, and treat them with royalty and give them any award? What is wrong with you all? Come on, you all need to shut up and start working together. Stop going on the street sides and on Facebook and talking a pack of stupidness. It is stupidness upon stupidness. It ain't putting all you nowhere because still we don't know how to come together and to appreciate one another and to support one another. This is real talk. And I am going to give it to you all real because It's time the stupidness in all your brain come out. What is wrong with us as a people? Are we cursed like that, man? We need to come together. Stop talking about the Syrians, the Chinese, the Indians, the whoever. Talk about yourself. You all don't appreciate one another. You don't. Because when somebody do something within our African communities, you all don't lift them up. You all don't big them up. Okay? As a matter of fact, you all just find fault and try to bring them down. And I'm not talking about the PNM as an African government, because they did nothing for the African people. So let's stop the foolish game and let us put our heads together, come together and establish unity and help one another. As a matter of fact, who helps us as the African community? It is the Indian communities. We have business, whatever it is, they are the ones who support us. And you know what? Your own African people just bring you down. Your own African people just say the worst things about you and about your business. So let us stop the foolishness, man. Let us change our mindset. Let us change the way we were conditioned to think and to behave. Let us change that and let us start talking together, finding ways and means to doing business together and growing. When the Indian people came here and we treated them like nobody, did they talk about us? Well, some say they're racial. All of us have a level of racialism in us. Okay? Yes, you might find it, they say more in the Indians. Well, so be it. Should you be concerned about that? What we should be concerned about is coming together and making something of ourselves, building our community, supporting our community. The Syrians does it, the Chinese does it, and now we have the Espanols here and they're doing it. When would we learn? All we learn to do is to complain, about the other race. Come on, man. You all not fed up? You all ain't find all your feeling looking stupid long enough? We have gone through what we have gone through, yes. We're not playing that blame game anymore. We have overgrown that. It's time for us to come together, pray together, work out business together. We have had African people who were put in place to help the African people, and they didn't do it. They see about themselves and whoever they wanted to see about, but they never open wide, spread it out, call the African. When they do it, I think they had something called the Black Caucus. Well, Lord, I've never attended that, but I heard so many things about it. I was encouraged to come, and somehow in my spirit, I wasn't feeling comfortable. And you heard the explosion of bacchanal and confusion. I don't want to be a part of bacchanal and confusion. You want people who are not like crabs in bucket, pulling down each other. That is what we do as an African community. And then we want to blame the Indian community. We want to blame the Syrian. We know that they do certain things that it is not fruitful for us. But you know why? They self just use us to go against us. All you get that? They just use us to go against us. Try and understand what that means. We need to come together as a people and stop talking about what the others are doing. Blame yourself. It is time we start blaming ourselves and start to come together and have conversation that is really going to help us to grow as a community, to help one another. For too long, man, how long we would continue with this? Listen to me. I don't even want to talk more about this. The only time I want to talk about it is if we decide to plan and come together and do something that is going to be beneficial to the African community, that is going to help the ones who are helpless, who are voiceless, who need our help. We would pull our resources together, because a lot of resources pass through our hands and our community. You know, we just like to spend wild. We like, and the other community enjoy us doing the foolishness, because that's who we are. We may not be racial as some people may say, but I have met racial African people. It's not in the majority. But what I am saying tonight, people, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, let us open our eyes. Let us wake up. Let us come together and stop blaming our Indian brothers and sisters, because clearly all of them are not racial. They might prefer, and we're supposed to do the same thing. Every family prefer one member more than the other. It happens. So let us stop playing the blame game. Let us stop being stupid with stupidness, and let us start having conversation that will create unity in this community of the blacks, the Africans, and do something that is going to help us to climb the ladder. With that, I want to move on because I just saw that and I said, but you know, we're not tired. We're not tired of playing the blame game. Man, the Indian government bought the Prime Minister from India, and they treat him with royalty and with respect. He deserved it anyway. And it's not only Trinidad. He has gone to Africa and they treat him with royalty. He has gone to other countries, to the UK and whatever. So what is all your problem? Come on, man, make sense today. All your operating like we in 1940 or some kind of thing. Let us come together and let us work together, and work together with the Indian community as well, because all of them, you think some of them don't want to see us prosper too? It's not all racial. Everybody's not racial. But you see, we have this mentality and we don't want to change it. If we change it and forget about what other communities are doing, and we come together and pull our resources together, we would be a community that is second to none. Because we have the ability, we have the substance in us. We are hardworking people, most of us. But you know what? A lot of us, we damn lazy. We lazy, we want to sleep late. We want to get up late. We want to bling. We want to, get everything easy. Nothing come easy. Our forefathers didn't have it easy. So who make you believe it will be easy for you? It would not. You think it was easy for the Indian people to reach where they are today? No. They worked for it. And their grandparents and whoever worked hard so that this generation now could enjoy the fruit of their grandparents or their patriarchs' labor. We have to do the same thing. We have to do the same thing. But for too long, we sit down and we blame everybody but our lazy tail to get up and do something that will make us better. So keep that in mind, And those of you who are angry about it, suit yourself. I've said it, and it is what it is. We're too lazy, and we like to depend on others to feed us. Go out there. There are many things you could do, but we feel that they owe us something. Nobody owe us nothing. Go to God and get your lazy tail up and do something. And producer? So we go in now. I listened to a video, a voice note that was circulating around. They call it the voice of war. Voice note threatens attack on lawmen. Now, I want to say this. It is no secret that there are, first let me say, lawmen are human beings like you and I. It's just that to whom much is given, much is required. All right? But we know that there are lawmen who are notorious. There are lawmen who are involved in criminal activities, excuse me, just like some of the criminals. Some of them encourage it, and I had a one-on-one experience with that. I didn't get involved, but I saw it with my 2 eyes, and then the phone call came when we were selling at a particular place. I'm not going to call no name, all right? And the person come with the phone and say we have to pay to sell on private, state land property, okay? They try. We have to pay $500 to sell on a space by the road. And that has been going on. But you know what? It was the police vehicle with police who passed first, take a good look at us, and then who? An African dude came with the telephone. We have to pay or we can't sell there. We would lose our lives. Listen, these things are real, You hear it and some people feel, well, it's a game, it's a joke. But we have to understand that these things are real. So the lawmen that these little criminals talking about, most time they are involved. But here you're hearing now that they're going to be attacking lawmen. I'm not saying all lawmen are criminal or are involved in criminal activity, but there are those who are. And it's time for this place to get cleaned up. I support 150% the SOE. Once it is the right people who is going to deal with these criminal men and women and some of these criminal lawmakers, not lawmakers, but lawmen. All right? Nobody wants to lose a loved one. Nobody wants to lose a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, auntie, or uncle, a husband, a wife. Nobody wants to lose their loved one. But if you're involved in foolishness, the time is going to come where you're going to lose your life. Even the Bible said, those who live by the sword will die by the sword. So if you're living by the gun, if you're living by doing the wrong things, you don't think it will come back to haunt you at some point in time? Let us be real. Now, I am happy that the kidnapped victim was found. Lawmen killed two young men who said that they were involved in that kind of lifestyle, as the case may be. Then I heard a video with the mother talking about her son getting killed and X, Y, and Z. Trinidad and Tobago, parents, let me say something to you all. Some of you all know that your sons and your daughters involved in foolishness, and you wouldn't stop it. Sometimes I know you talk to them and they don't listen, but put your foot down. Because when things start to happen, when they get killed, then don't blame nobody else but yourself and them. Now, if you can't blame yourself because you would have been talking to them and they didn't listen, man, we're sorry they lost their life, but that is how it is. Because at the end of the day, they are creating other people misery. When you come and kidnap my child, you're putting me in a state of misery, a state of brokenness, okay? Yes, I know, I'm aware that it is not always what we see. Sometimes the whole circle, the whole ring is involved in the foolishness. Even the person who may have been kidnapped. We know these things happen. They play the game, pretend that, stage the kidnap because the family member wants money, whatever it may be. We know all of that happened. I am not saying this is what happened, but I am saying to those of us who are involved in the foolishness, for those of us parents who know, because in the video she was saying that the police came last week. So hello, your son, your family member is involved or being around the persons who are influencing them to be a part of criminal activity. So all you need to get it real, We need to get it real. We have to stop pretending and stop playing games. If your son lying on the block, just know at some point you might hear he get gunned down. That's how it is. If your children are not inside and they are not doing things constructively, they are not, should I say, they don't understand that you stay away from bad influence. Some people say he's a good child, she's a good child, but how she get killed? How he got killed is because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, is it? Or is it that he has been around or she has been around these criminal-minded persons? Or they're actually involved and you are not aware of it? Because I would give this, sometimes our children are involved in criminal activities and we don't even know. This is why you have to keep checking on your children. Once, teenagers need guidance. I don't know who make us believe that you can leave teenagers on their own and they will go straight. I don't know who make us believe that they have that maturity, that they could do the right things. That is 1 in a million. You'll find 1 in a million of that. So let us be real tonight, Trinidad and Tobago. Some of these people that are losing their life, it is a life. So I'm not going to say I ain't sad about it. I'm not sorry. But hello, it's better they lose their life, they get killed, than they come and kill me. Or kill you who working hard and sweating every day, trying to make ends meet, trying to do things the right way. And then after all of that, they come and they kill you. It's better they get killed because they don't have good intention. All right? So let us be mindful. Parents, train up your child so that they, in a way that, when you talk the Bible, people just get vexed sometimes. But in the way of the Lord tells you that you do not do to others what you don't like for yourself. Train your children to leave people's property alone, to have respect for others. But they don't have that today. You talk to a young child nowadays, you try to correct them, they're cursing you black as white. And why? Because their parents cursing one another in the house. That is what they're involved. They're seeing that every day. They're in a household where it's war every day. It's confusion, it's bacchanal, it's curse. It's who honing who, it's who unfaithful. Listen, we're in a mess, and not only in Trinidad. We are in a total mess. Human beings need to go back to God. You all need to go back and pray and ask God for mercy and start all over. All right? I have my own situation dealing with. You feel we don't have our situation? We do. Because sometimes you train your children in a particular way, and then as they get older, they become adults, and you realize, well, what is this? This is not how I train you. And then you feel heartbroken. For me, I'm not feeling heartbroken. When I talk to you and you want to do what you want to do, my father and grandparents used to say, if you don't listen, if you don't hear, you go feel. Anybody could identify with that? If you don't hear and you don't listen, you go feel. So then when things start to go wrong, don't come to me, some people might say I'm harsh, but that's the reality of life. I ain't coming to bail you out. I ain't coming to soothe foolishness. No, you do your nonsense, you face the heat. I am not going to do that because I have done my nonsense as a young person too. You think I didn't do foolishness? But thankful to God, nobody didn't help me, I came to my senses by listening to other people, listening to elders, listening to the word of God, and understanding that if you want things a particular way, you have to do it a particular way. You can't do it this way and expect to get a different result. No, it doesn't work that way, Trinidad and Tobago people. Let us come together, work together. Let us stop playing race card amongst ourselves. Those are the damn politicians, because they just drop that for us to be fighting down one another, for us to vote them back in, especially this PNM government. I want to say something, it will be, how much years before they could come back together. You see how much corruption is being unfolded? You hear what's going on with the CPEP? You all hear what's going on with CPEP? I hear Faris Arawi name calling, Stuart Young name calling, amongst the others, who didn't get cabinet note, who say that they didn't want to approve, but this one tell them to do it. Come on, we all are adults, be sensible. If you don't want to do something, nobody can make you do it. Walk away. Let somebody else get blamed. But don't do the foolishness because all they didn't believe that PNM was going to lose. So all you stick there because it was benefiting every one of you. But now what in that coming to light, everybody coming and throwing shade on one another. But let them show shade. All you deal with all your stuff. But PNM, oh gosh, all you dead. I want my black rose tonight. They're dead. We bury them for a very long time. But I'm saying to the United National Congress government, please do what is right. Serve the people. Please the people. Do what is right. You may not be able to please everybody, but I'm saying do what is right for God's sake. Make sure everybody have a plate of food to eat when the day comes. Don't just give it to one hand and leave the next hand empty, because they're waiting patiently to mash us up. So please, my new government with my new prime minister, some people saying she multitasking. She know why she have to do that. She know why she have to be in everything, because it's human being you're dealing with. It's human being. Not all of us are human being with integrity. Not all of us want to serve people. Some of us want to serve ourselves. And if she not behind everything, you know what? At the end of the day, is she getting blamed. When she give them the opportunity, they blame her. Now she taking charge and doing certain things, all you still blaming her. What on God's earth all you want? Make up all your mind now. Make up all your mind. We need to make up our mind in this country, we sick. It's a set of sick people. Like them job all you get, like it have all you going bazooka, but whatever. Let's try to get back in line and let's focus on what is productive and what is positive in our country, because too much things going on that could trip you. Some of you, if your mind not strong enough, you all could go crazy. So focus on what is going to work for you. We have a new government. We need to continue to pray for them. We need to support them. If they're doing wrong, call them out. Call them out. Call them out. I would be calling them out if they're doing foolishness, right? Because this is Real Talk Corner. But as far as I can see, ain't no foolishness going on yet. And if any little thing happen, I hearing my prime minister calling it out, right? It have a lot of pre-budget consultation taking place all over the country. Wherever you are in your constituency, find out when is your day. I think tonight it have 2 different locations. Tomorrow it have about 2 or 3. I think Tunapuna and Moruga and somewhere else. Find out if there is any consultation, pre-budget consultation in your constituency. Go there and let your voice be heard. Go and make a contribution, what you want to see happening. Don't sit down and then when things don't go right, you say, but this and that and the other. No, go out. Honestly, for me, I don't think we need to have it. Man, I know this government know what this country need. Our prime minister is aware of everything that has to be done. She could sit down on the table and tell every one of our ministers what she wants happening for the people. But she's an inclusive woman. She wants everybody to be a part of it. So you could feel a part of it so that you don't have to go after and say, well, they do this and they do that. If you were a part of it and they didn't do certain things, then you could talk. You understand? So go out there, be a part of the pre-budget consultation that is taking place in your constituency. Make your voice be known and heard, and let's get this thing going, right? Keep in mind, this new government is not even 3 whole months yet. May, June, July, I think it's next week, would make it 3 months since the United National Congress won the election. And they wasn't sworn in until a few days after. So hello, give them a chance. Always stop bumping all your gum in the negative. Give them a chance to do what is right. You think after 9 years of failure, it's so easy to bring back things in place. It's taking a little time. They're working behind the scene and very hard at that. So at this point, I want to congratulate them again for a job well done. Some of you talking about only getting this and only getting this. Listen to all the corruption they have to deal with, right? Listen especially to CPEP. Listen to what's going on. And in every ministry, there is issues. So give them a break. It's not 6 months. It's not a year. And all I am saying to all of the members, ministers of the United National Congress government, please don't let us have to put our foot in our mouth. We're rooting for you all. We want the best for the citizens of this country. Let's be fair. Don't be vindictive in any way. Continue to be there for people. Talk with people. Hear people's need and see how best we can get persons to live a better life, to have a better lifestyle. I think the time has come. Oh, I see my co-host is here, but I want to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to be dealing with some more matters in Trinidad and Tobago.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago, and of course the globe. Welcome to Real Talk Corner. Hadassah, how are you?
Hi. I am fine, thank you. How are you, Esther?
Welcome back, my people, my viewers. Welcome back. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome my co-host, when she's not here, I miss her a lot, but I know she probably heard a few things I was saying. Hi, Hadassah. Good to see you.
Hi, Esther. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. It's so good to be on another episode of Real Talk Corner Live. Esther is going to have to bring me up to speed. I only caught the end of what she was talking about, but I don't know what the context was.
Well, girl, I talk so much, eh? It's so much things is before me. A lot is happening in our country. I spoke about the kidnapped victim that was found.
Yeah, I wanted to
And
talk
then
about that.
there was well, of course, 2 persons get killed, 2 young men, and then, there was this video with one of the mothers talking about, it was an unjust killing because the child would do this and, the normal thing that goes on. And I was talking about parents having to know their children, understand and set good examples, okay? Then there is this voice of war, a voice note that threatens attacks on lawmen. And of course, I talked about some of the lawmen who are involved in criminal activity, not all, right? And whatever is happening with the SOE, I'm just hoping that they're using the right people to do the right things and not killing innocent people or being vindictive. Because at the end of the day, it's, all of us are human beings. It's just that to whom much is given, much is required. But you know, in our military, we have a lot of unscrupulous men and women, right? We hear it from time to time. They use their office and their uniform to vindict certain things, to have people under certain control and all of that. So I was talking about that, a little bit about that, and of course, there was this Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge talking, excuse me, about the Prime Minister from India coming and how they were treated with royalty and when the African Prime Minister come, what happened and who benefit from it and all this. And I had to let us know that the African community, we have to blame ourselves for where we are and not blame the Indian community, not even the Syrian, not even the Chinese. And now we have the Espanol, the Venezuelan are here. They have been working together. And that's why we are the only community that doesn't work together. We like to pull down one another for the masses of us. And when we as an African community have a business or whatever, most time it's the Indian community that supports us. We need to be real, and that's the truth. The
Yeah, I
Africans
can
would
speak
say
on
all
that
kind
as a
of things.
fact.
So, those,
Um,
you see how much things I said in half an hour? I will talk.
so
A bum too
it
bad.
definitely is a lot. So let me jump in and give my 2 cents. First of all, Esther, you look so lovely and radiant. Guys,
Thank
could
you,
you put in the
darling.
comments how beautiful Esther looks? Right? All right. So, in terms of the kidnapped victim being rescued, that made me feel so happy because oftentimes as a society, we kind of hold our breath when something like this happens, waiting for the inevitable bad news that the person's body was found. The fact that under this new government, the police has been mobilized to the point where we are recovering and rescuing kidnapped victims. That made me very happy. And of course, in things like this, you would always have casualties where the two suspects were killed in the exchange by the police. And while it is sad, and while you hope sometimes that these people could actually make it to court, to have their day in court, to say their say and go through the justice system, it does not always end up that way, right? Um, and what Esther says is correct. Sometimes parents know a different version of their children. I have no doubt sometimes that these parents, when they say he's a good boy, I have no doubt sometimes that that is their experience of the child. But children are different in different environments. They put on different facades for different groups of people, right? And your son could be a good boy to you, and he could be a menace to society, right? So we need to come to this realization, right? And while my heart bleeds for this mother, because no mother wants to see her child killed, gunned down, it's not a good experience. It is not ideal. It's not the things that she would have hoped for him when she held him in her arms as a baby, right? But this is the reality of where we are at. We are in a country where, under the PNM gang culture, and this type of behavior has been allowed to foster, right? It has been nurtured and it has been fed, right? And it is going to take a while for us to snatch ourselves away from this type of culture and introduce a new culture where there is pride in working hard for what you want and living an upright life. All right. And this is not only on the shoulders of the new government. This is not Kamala Prasad's predecessors' uh, problem. This is not her issue, so to speak. Right. There are roots of it in terms of in economics and um, in social issues and things like that definitely could be addressed by the government. But a lot of it has to start in the home, a lot of it has to start in the community. So I really felt happy that the kidnap victim was rescued. I thought that was a bit of uh, good news. In terms of the SOE, I think they are doing a good job. I mean, there have been so many arrests. The police have been able to confiscate and get off of the street so many weapons. And I think that we are going to see positive fruits come from it. The Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara, spoke about the fact that the syndicate has been thwarted, right? So their plans were not able to come to fruition, and that is a positive thing in terms of the extent of damage that they were planning to do and the lives that could have been lost. So I think that that is definitely a positive thing. Trinidadians are a special breed of people because I feel like the thing that we excel at is complaining. I feel we are very good at that, right? We complain for everything, even when there are good things to talk about, when there are good things to celebrate, we are always complaining, right? That has to be, everybody needs to take a mirror and look inward. I don't know what we can do about that, right? But the caravan has to move on and the dogs will bark, right? And like as Esther says, she
Hadassah,
has so much on her
I want to
plate.
interject. I want to interject. You have to be careful. Take a mirror and look inward. Sometimes inward is so dark, it's so messed
I
up. We
know.
need to renew our mind, our
Oh my
thinking, the way we were
gosh.
brought up to think and to believe
Oh my.
certain things. We have to
No,
change
but
our mindset.
I actually think this is in our cultural DNA because you always see it even when there's good news to be had, there will be somebody in the comments who is going to find something negative to say, right? Right? We find it very hard sometimes to be happy for other people, especially when the thing is not happening to us directly. We find it hard to uplift other people. We find it hard to share in other people's joy. We find it hard to celebrate other people's wins, right? And this is just who we are as a society. And I don't know what it will take to break that, Esther, because it has been going on for years and I feel like it has been amplified by social media, by the fact that you could cowardly hide behind a profile, behind your phone, and say whatever manner of thing that comes into your head.
Okay. Well,
Is it that I'm stuck?
yeah, you just okay, well, my co-hosts were talking about our mindset and how we ought to operate, but I think Hadassah, you said at some point in time where the PNM have done a good job with the African community. They
Oh
have
yeah,
us
for sure.
where they want to have us, thinking lousy, thinking with a level of envy and jealousy against one another. I think that
I
is
want to talk
exactly what is
about that,
happening.
Esther, because we are finding out that the CEO of CPEP, Mr. Keith Eddy is his name, he has said in court that what actually happened is that before the election, Faris Al-Wari pressured him to renew all these contracts to the tune of
Yeah.
$1.3 billion, dollars, right?
Wait.
And
Eh? I want Trinidadians to hear this. Eh? This is not $1.3 million,
no,
According to my good colleague, 1.3 billion.
billion,
You
billion
know what
dollars,
is $1 billion? All right.
right? So, and not only that, too, what I find sad is let us call a spade a spade. The only people who are quarreling and fighting up, saying that the $120 that the PNM had these people holding them ransom for that they were working for a day at CPEP, the only people who fighting up and stressed out about that is black people. And we have to ask ourselves, how is it time and time again we are the ones who are scapegoated? We are the ones who the PNM could play with us in their hands like potty, right? And now people saying that because the UNC has shut down the CPEP programs, right? Because they need to do their investigations and whatnot, that it will cause crime to rise. So first of all, you guys
How
are
is
saying
that? How
that
is
if
that?
these people don't get $120 a day, the only thing for them to do is crime. And
Is
then
to go into crime.
why
What a
after
stigma.
years why after years are people being held ransom for $120 a day? Why it is the PNM has not done more to create gainful employment, to create apprentices, to
Why?
create
Why should they do more when they
opportunities?
want to
Why
have the
haven't
people
they
right where they are?
allowed these people to have their own businesses and whatnot? Why have they kept them there in that state to use their votes
Because they
when
want to have
election
them
roll around?
in the hollow of their hands. They want to keep them right there so they can be exactly where they are right now. But Hadassah, correct me if I missed it, but I think I heard that at the end of June they got their salaries, everything was cut off, but the workers were being paid for the month of July. That is what I heard. So I don't know if I am wrong. Maybe I need to check it out. But I heard that the government is going to be paying those employees of the CPEP for the month of July, 1 month salary.
Yeah,
I
I think
heard
I
that.
understand that that payment was delayed or something like that. But even if that is the case, Esther, right? Even if that is the case, they are making the case that these people can't live now because they can't live without a CPEP job.
Yeah.
A
So going
CPEP job
to committing crime. Yeah.
where the PNM themselves have not even revamped the program in a way where the people are more gainfully employed, where there is a path to entrepreneurship, where there is you, they have not turned the program into something where you could understand if people are upset if it has been ripped away. It is a glorified 10 days job. Let's call a spade, right? And I think the CPEP does a very good job. They do a
They do.
really good job
The
because
workers,
in the
yes.
communities, when CPEP pass through, you just know the places be clean, the grasses be cut. They do a really good job. But they have not incentivized these people. They have not taken advantage of that to the point where it has been parlayed into gainful employment. This is an opportunity that you could actually absorb these people into a national program of national beautification and things like that that pays well, because that is actually honorable. There's honor in that. There is value in having a clean community, clean streets, clean roads, clean
That's right.
drains. There's
That's
value in
right.
it. But they
Yeah.
did not value the people to even pay them a good salary, right? And I am really hoping that rooting out the corruption is one thing, but I'm actually hoping that the CPEP program could be what they wanted it to be initially.
What
What it
the
was
initial plan was,
envisioned
yes.
to be. It was supposed to be something that was supposed to uplift people. It was not supposed to be something that you were supposed to be dependent on for the rest of your life. And this is what PNM does. They create dependent drones.
Only for
And
the
we
African
need to
people,
move
though.
away from that culture.
Only for the African people, as though we don't worth better than that. And you see, our
Exactly.
behavior makes them believe that that is what we're worth. So even when I heard somebody say the UNC government only want to give them CPEP job and URP, that is what all you're worth. Have you all been educated otherwise to do anything else? Have you all
Yeah,
been informed as to what else you can do while you're doing this? Some of them,
yeah,
listen, and I say, you know, it have some people who just look forward to that One, go and work, get a little money, go and fix their hair, put on a set of
Yeah.
long eyelashes and
Yeah.
put tattoo on. I mean, they live day to day, and
Yeah.
nobody is empowering them through workshops or whatever to help them to become better
No.
citizens, more
And
more more valuable citizens.
the PNM is continuing this dependency syndrome because when you can't find them for 10 years, these same CPEP people now, the PNM is dropping hampers and stuff for them. And to me, that message
Oh,
is the
as you
message
say
is
that.
Olia, stay right there. Stay right
Oh
there. We
gosh,
need
they
Olia for
wait.
votes in the next 5 years. That is
Yeah,
what
wait,
that is.
wait.
Because they were nowhere around when people were suffering under
All
the
the time.
pandemic, just
Listen,
generally.
Hadassah, the MP for San Fernando, is it east or west? The one that deceased Manin's son is in. Just imagine, I have never seen in 10 years they giving out
Yes,
hampers and
yes,
asking, listen, they want to keep them right where they are so that they will
right where
continue
they
to
are.
give them some hampers and probably
Yes,
whatever they could try to give to them, fool them
yes,
until the next 5 years. And if, I am saying this,
yeah,
if our government of the day don't do right, trust me, they're going to have these people so confounded that they're going to
yeah,
go back and vote for the PNM.
yeah, yeah.
All
The
right.
thing about it is, we're finding out that the CPEP contracts could not even hold up because Stuart Young never brought the bill to the cabinet for approval.
Exactly.
Legally, it could not stand.
It
Faris
couldn't
Rari
stand.
illegally pressured the CEO to renew these contracts, and then it did not go through the necessary process for it to make it a legal thing. So the government had no choice but to scrap it.
That is PNM all over. They don't ever do the thing the right way. Did you heard as well that there were contractors who their contract wasn't expired, but they were renewed?
Yes.
So, I mean, what you call that? Fraudulent behavior of
Yeah.
this PNM government. But you see the people who on the ground, who just rah, 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 like the leaders say, rah, 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 whatever. They don't pay attention. They don't listen. They're not educated properly to understand
Yeah.
what is being said and what is happening. Is what everybody say, and yeah, they part. You know how it goes.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Party, drink, woman, wine, and the good. You
Yeah. Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
how they are,
That is what they
right?
do. And
And
they
they
create
always do
dog
it just
whistles.
before the election.
Yes, create dog whistles to say things that, oh, Kamala Prasad Pisasa is, she's oppressive and she don't like black people and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. And that is what they do. And they rile them up, they rile them up, they rile them up. And Keith Rowley,
Far
I
from the
don't
truth.
know
Far from the truth.
where he resurrect from to cause trouble about all the
Far from the
government,
truth.
and TTPS put him on Interpol watch list. Just end up on Interpol watch list only to find out that the all of it was unfounded. He lied. Surprise! Keith Rowley
Ah, he
lied.
lied.
That is what
He
he
lied for
does.
real. But that is
He
what
lied.
PNM leaders is do. That is what they are accustomed doing. Lying for
Shame on
pity,
the media,
lying
though.
for
The
sympathy.
media did not do their due process to find out if it was actually true.
Wow, look at that. He should have been on number one on the list. You can't imagine how these government ministers and the former prime minister disappoints me. Even though I don't support them, they disappoint me because as a government, as a prime minister, you're supposed to do better.
Yeah.
And what gets to me is the fact that they talk about PNM for the African people. You hear it all the time. But what does the African community get from the People's National Movement? I want to
And what is
say,
the example? More importantly, what is the example?
they
That
said
is
none.
nothing to be
Lies and
beholden to.
deception. Run and have woman here, there, and everywhere because power get to them. Eh? And they only talking foolishness all the time. Listen, power is a nasty thing. Power
It
allows you
is.
to have control over people. And people doesn't,
It
most
is.
people don't know how to handle that. Right? So they go
Yeah.
clear, they go crazy. And this is what
Yeah.
the PNM did for 10 years. They
Yeah.
run wild. Okay? Who now you're hearing who was with this woman and that woman. And some of these women have no shame, Hadassah. They
No.
make me feel so, you know, like I wish I wasn't a woman sometime, but I know I am one of integrity. I'm not perfect, but I am one of integrity. All right? And we have to always look at what is being done to us and make some conscious decision. Don't sell your soul for what, a couple $1,000 for a house and a child to make you feel important for the minister because you have a child for him. Oh, come on, Amanda, I stress down the road because when he
Yep.
going back with his wife, now that they lost and they go back with their wife, they don't have time with you no more, because they're not in that position of getting plenty money and contracts. So come on, man.
Ooh.
African community, I mean, I'm talking to Trinidad and Tobago and everybody. But you see, my African community, all you need to wake up, all you really need to wake up and ask God to help all you. All of us, we need to do it. We need to come together. Those of us who have and we're being selfish, all you stop it. Then if you're selfish, shut up. Don't say nothing. And the rest of you who don't want to do what is right, shut up. Don't say nothing. Let the Indian government run the country and you would benefit. When UNC win, everybody win. You hear everybody talking that as though it's a bad thing. It's a good thing. They may not come and spoon feed you, but things are going to be put in place. The policies and things is going to be put in place so that you would benefit. Your electricity
Mhm.
bill ain't going up. You don't have to pay what it was, property tax. Yeah? So you're winning. You're winning. You're
Yeah.
getting school books. Look at this now, Hadassah. Right now, if you see how much people applying for school books grant, did the PNM do that? I hear come in but asking a question. I was listening to it in Parliament. If the laptop was for the poor and the rich. I said, but why this man don't shut up? It's for
Yeah.
every child who needs it, whether it's a poor family or a rich family. If you're rich, you should have a conscience not to take it because you could afford to buy and leave it for the poor people to get. That is how I see it.
I think, Esther,
If
that
you
the
could afford
PNM
it, don't
has
take
some
it.
type. I think the PNM has some type of kink with paperwork. They love bureaucracy. You see, they're talking about a means test for the laptops. They love that. They love to make things hard for people.
Yes.
So it is not they're not happy if you could just get it, right? And you could
No,
move on with your
no.
life and this thing could benefit you and help you. You now have to prove that you are poor and struggling.
I'm
And you
struggling.
had to bring this document and that document and this had a sign and affidavit and notary. That's what it does do to you.
Hello?
And then you
You
get
making
so
it sound
frustrated,
good? You
you
making
just
it
give
sound too
up.
decent? They want to know how much underwears they have. They want to know how much jockey shorts your
Your
children have.
grandmother
They want to
brass
know how much
side.
sheets you're putting on your bed, how
Yes.
much stove you have, how much air condition, if you have two toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Before, I've carried people to social
Yes.
welfare to get under the
Yes.
PNM. Listen to me. They're telling
Yes.
you you have no money. And the people needy. They have
Yes.
nothing. But these people
Yes.
is like they train them to be criminal robots. They have it down
Yes.
packed. People who
Yes.
need it cannot get it.
Yeah.
It's all kind of question. I go in there and you
Yes.
would think I'm going there carrying people to get help. And you would think
Yeah.
sometimes, like it's I had to answer the question, I have to tell one person one time, that money
Yeah.
is not yours. It is for the
Yeah.
poor people. What is wrong with
Exactly.
you all?
Yeah. And that is
It
what
is
and that is what
so
they have that is what they have always done. Even in the
always.
face of glaring obvious need during the pandemic, they were making you apply for rent grant. And you remember that? You had to apply and you had to prove that your life was hard and that you're struggling. You cannot just get it. They didn't do it the way Canada did it. Canada said everybody's income has been impacted, so everybody is going to be entitled
In
to
America too.
free
In
utilities.
America as
Everybody's
well.
going to be entitled to food, and everybody's going to be entitled to a certain amount of money to pad their income. That is how PNM just had a spin on your toe.
But Hadassah, Minister Cox, said that the people were greedy because they wanted more than
Yes,
one hamper. She didn't
they
even
was
know
greedy.
how large
Did
the
not
family
eat.
was, right? They had you
Yes,
pulling out if you have tenants, don't
yeah,
put them out They would give you money.
Yeah.
You know how much people didn't get a cent? Listen,
Yeah.
PNM is a real zombie, and they need
Yeah.
to get out the larger bless and all of that from amongst them, because
Yeah.
they really stifle the
Yeah.
people and the masses of the people who needed that. Beside in some of our Indian brothers and sisters, it was more the African people. But who was
Yeah.
giving out the most set of hampers during the COVID time? Wasn't the UNC MPs?
No,
The
it's true.
UNC
It's
MPs
true.
were the people who were giving out hampers like
It's
water
true.
flowing down the river. So
And they
when you have
had
to
to do
talk,
it because the things that they put in place, like I said, they made it so hard for you to get. I don't know a single person who was successful in getting any of the grants that was advertised during the pandemic. I know when I was stuck in the States, I tried to get a rent grant, and they told me, and I'm telling the lady on the phone, I am stuck in the States. She said, yeah, but you're a come in person. I was like, I was
that is
like,
the reality. You have
I
to come
just
in person, and you're stuck in the States.
welcome
The
to our
dumb,
banana republic because they don't
oh
have any
gosh,
contingencies for nothing. They just say this
and
is the rules and they don't bend it for no reason. And I'm saying, but I'm not in the country. Can my mother do it on my behalf? Yeah, to come in person.
listen to me.
All
Our
right.
time has run out, but listen to me. That is the PNM, okay? If the
Yeah.
UNC government was in power, I am certain it would have been different. But listen, that's where we are tonight. Really and
Yeah.
truly, I was supposed to be talking about some implementation that licensing could implement in trying to curb the crime situation from one constituency or one district to the other with respect to vehicles and stuff. So hopefully on today's Tuesday, on Thursday when we're back, we want to talk about that, because there are ways. I mean, we can't just depend on one sector. All of us, crime is supposed to be everybody's business. So
Yes.
every ministry, every department, as it may be, should come up with something to solve crime by implementing something. And I was just thinking, I've had talks with other persons, and they were talking about, like in America, when you have to pay toll to leave from New York to go over to New Jersey, right? Something like that. And not only that, but your number plate. When a vehicle in New York is from New Jersey or from North Carolina, because there's a difference in the number plates. So, there are things that we can look at. I know everything is going to be a cost, right? But Trinidad and
Time.
Tobago, keep holding on. Keep patience. For you PNM supporters who support PNM with your life and want to cuss out the UNC already, have some patience. Because cursing, just making yourself look like a fool, it ain't going to help you. So you could as well stay
But
quiet, shut
Esther,
up and wait.
whatever the government say they're doing, PNM does quarrel and then they just go and take it because they're going and take the laptop, right?
Exactly.
They go in and
Exactly.
accept the book grants, right? When food is cheaper, they're not going and quarrel and say, I want more expensive groceries. They're going to enjoy the cheaper groceries.
Exactly.
Whatever is implemented, they are going
Pension
to
raise, they go
enjoy
in and
it
take the pension. Why they don't say they don't want it? Eh?
and
Leave
they
it at
go
taking
with
what PNM give. Okay,
and they're
everybody
still going to
benefiting.
quarrel. Yeah.
Listen, I love you people. I love the oppositions. I love all of you. But you know what? All you need to get all your act together. PNM, you're dead.
Yeah.
And I hope you all, I buried all you, and I hope all you stay buried for a very long time until all you catch all yourself, change all your mentality, and treat people with respect. And especially
Gosh.
the people of the black community who all you say all you represent. Because I don't ever see that. Okay? So tonight, I was supposed to talk something else, but Gil, with all that was before us, Hadassah, I decided now that have to be pushed back. So I want to thank my producer. I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank all our viewers, those who would have commented. Thank you all so very much. Ali Trini, Juliet Pierre Trotman, Anne Marie, all of you all, I thank you for coming on, putting your comments. I appreciate. We didn't have a call-in segment, but I promise you on Thursday, God's willing, we're going to have our call-in segment. So get ready. We want to talk about licensing and some proposals that we want to throw out there that you all can, share and make sure that we in this thing together. Did I say we in it together? Well, we want to be in it together, and the UNC is going to allow us to be in it together. But come good, come clean and respectful. Don't come talking nonsense, and don't come talking about my prime minister, because they have no other prime minister since the inception of the PNM. None of
Oh,
them could be like my prime minister right now. I love you all. Have a great night. Until Tuesday, God's willing. Bless you. Stay strong, stay
bye.
focused, and be safe. Goodbye.